Set it in a neutral position, keep your mouth closed, place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, inhale and exhale. It's time to clench. Right now we're going to be looking at the brand new show called House of the Dragon. Its finale just aired last Sunday, and this is the first show that was ever released after the massive disappointment of Game of Thrones Season 8. Now before we get into the meat of it, you have to understand that this was the show. Almost everyone was watching it. It is the most popular TV show that was ever broadcasted in its 7-year reign. And then Season 8 came. It's like aging whiskey. It's been 84 years. You finally transfer it from the barrel to a bottle. You sell it to somebody. That somebody drives home and somehow tripped on the steps before the door. Breaks the entire bottle. Those steps is Season 8. It single-handedly killed the show. I mean, I get it. The people that wrote this particular season weren't exactly your boy R.R. George M. I mean, they did what they can for whatever sources that they had at the time. I just wish that they took their time to maybe make another season instead of just one. I guess what I'm trying to say is that particular season cast a shadow over this new show that people are going to be expecting the same disappointment going into this. But I'm here to tell you that I was proven wrong. Anyway, this is not about Game of Thrones. This is about House of the Dragon, so let's get back to it. I've been waiting for the show, and I'm really happy to say this. House of the Dragon is actually good. I mean, it's still pretty early if this is going to be anything like the original, but it definitely has similar DNA. And this counts on some of the things that I like about the show. It has suspense, the whole thing with who's going to be on the Iron Throne, what house is going to rule Westeros, who's lurking and scheming all over the freaking castle walls. These type of things that people love the original for. The CGI on the dragons is really good. They don't look cheap or unreal. The sound of them roaring through the skies is bone chilling, and you can tell everyone else in those particular scenes are also clenching it when they hear and see them. I also like that I'm already familiar with the locations of the show. It just gives me that feeling that I'm back in that time. I'm back in the world of Game of Thrones. It's as if someone was holding up a sign that says welcome back to Westeros. Now a lot of people are saying that it's slow paced, but I disagree. It takes time to build these characters and events for what came before and what's gonna happen next in the future. With a massive world like this, you really have to take your time, otherwise it would just seem cluttered or suffocated, and then nobody would know what's happening. I mean, going back to the original Game of Thrones, I remember them taking their time also building their characters and events. I mean, that's what you have to do in order to give justice to some of these characters from the book. It's not like a couple of episodes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am team House of Stark. There's just no way. So in essence, you really have to take your time. I think they did a great job on the character King Viserys. By the end of season 1, I felt pretty invested in him, and to be honest, he's the only character I felt invested on by the end of the season. If I was to describe his character, I would say he is a breath of fresh air, and in my opinion, he is the heart of the show. He's the only character that had no scheming, no plotting or insidious plans. I could literally sit here and count all the things that he actually desired during the show. All he wanted to do was keep the peace and keep his family together. That's it. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to eat, he didn't want to drink, he didn't want to sleep, he didn't even want to use the bathroom, even if he wanted to. Actually, never mind, I think he might have taken a bath during the show. The show didn't really had a war going on, but in his kingdom and his family, there was a war in between their very own children in their very own circle of family. To me, he is the very definition of what patriarchy looks like. I can also say that the actor that played him was superb, and good actors and actresses are essential. It it can really make your story be told the way you want it to be. If you don't have any good actors or actresses playing their parts, the lines are just gonna fall flat, and then the audience are just not gonna care of what's happening. They're gonna get bored easily and move on to the next. Now let's talk about the things that I didn't like. The time jumps. Let's talk about the time jumps. The time jumps are insane. This is kind of a double-edged sword, because if they didn't do this in season 1, then it could be stretched to 3 seasons, and nobody wants that. So in the show, they had Rhaenyra and Alicent in their adult years. In the next episode, they're in their mid-30s. On top of that, somehow had 10 children. Everyone just seemed pregnant all the freaking time. And apart from them two, everyone else looks the same. It gets really confusing when that happens, especially when you're just recasting 2 characters and everyone else still staying the same, except for King Viserys, of course. Viserys looked like he aged so much in 1 season. A lot of people don't know this, but the disease that he was actually suffering from is called leprosy. Leprosy can make you look a lot older than you are. It's just because of the way that your body is deteriorating. So anyway, you have all these kids popping out. I mean, it's an absolute kindergarten, and everyone almost has the same sounding name. It's like every time they say, what are we gonna name him? And the answer is always Aegon, or at least something that rhymes with it. It can get really confusing really fast, and it's up to you to do the extra research on who belong to what family tree. And sometimes those family trees crosses in between, and now like you have a whole lot of hurt going on through your head because you don't know what the freak is going on. Going back to the time jumps, I guess it just sucks because the 2 main characters in the show is Rhaenyra and Alicent, and they had a recast in the middle of the show. So you have to learn about them again and get yourself reinvested again. That makes it difficult to follow the events and the decisions that they end up taking because of the time jumps in between. You gotta rewire your brain to catch up with all these recastings. I guess all I'm trying to say is they gotta slow down with these time jumps just a little bit, because I mean, who knows what season 2 is gonna be looking like. If they keep going with the time jumps the way they are now, we're gonna be in episode 1, House of Stark, in no time. So with that said, here's the most important information you guys have been waiting for. If I had to measure how much clenching was there in this show, I would have to say about 85%. Overall, I can honestly say that I did enjoy this show, this first season, and if you guys enjoyed it, then that's what matters. The show is good, it's enjoyable, it's entertaining, and I'm excited to see what's gonna come next. There's a lot of things that happened in season 1, and it's all leading up to a very exciting and possibly very bloody season 2. Season 1 is the calm before the storm. It's like the Taco Tuesday before everything else goes sideways, if you will. It's the hook, right? And I believe everyone that watched season 1 is now along for the ride, including me. Anyways, thank you guys for hearing me out, hearing me rant. I appreciate it. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys could share it, I would truly appreciate it. Thanks guys. That's it. Bye.